Okay, everybody, so we are on part 2 of this triangle, angle sum, and exterior angle theorems. And so we want to take a look first at a review of what we learned previously. And what we saw previously, let me scroll up here, is that the inside of a triangle, all three angles, will equal up to 180 degrees. So this 58, this 47, we would have added those together, taken 180 degrees total, and minus the ones that we did know, the 58 and 47, and that would lead us to our answer. We're going to use some of that information now on our next group. So in this part 2, if you notice, they're asking sometimes for here, outside of the triangle, and over here inside the triangle, but we have some information missing, but we do have some given outside the triangle here on the exterior angle of this triangle. So let's get right into it. So the first thing, now that we have our review of interior angles equaling 180, in number 4, there's a review of two angles right here that together would equal also 180. This is called a linear pair. Here with this angle X, I'll call it, and here with this missing angle as well. Okay? These two together would equal to 180. That's important to know also because over here, these two would equal to 180. So you always want to keep that in your mind. So looking back here on number 4, do I need that information? Well, not as of yet, because I know that if I add 34 together with 21, let's go ahead and do that right now. 1 and 4 is 5, and 2 and 3 is also 5. All right, let me get my other pen here. So the two that I know equal to 55 degrees. That means I can find this third angle in the triangle by subtracting it from the total of 180. Okay? So 180 minus 55 is going to leave me with 125. So I know that the measure of this angle is 125 degrees. Now remember, I just told you about our linear pair that the two of these together have to equal to 180. So I have X plus the 125 equals 180. We kind of did this up here. If you notice, your answer will be 55 because when I subtract 125 from both sides, I get 180 minus 125 is 55. So there's something we're going to discover about that here shortly. Okay? There's a theorem that we will be discussing. So X equals 55. All right? Over here on number 5 is going to be a little bit different. So let's see, given the information that we have, how can we put this together? So first thing I notice, I cannot just add this angle and this angle together to get 180. I cannot add these together because they're not like terms. This 2x, it would be like, let me show you here. So we have 100. I already know the other angle here. And how can I figure that out? Think back over here. The two together have to equal to 180. So if this side is 100, this side has got to be 80 because 180 together is 180. So now I know that missing angle. But the question is actually wanting me to solve for X. All right? So what do I know? Well, I know that the three angles inside the triangle are going to equal up to be 180. Okay? And now that I know all three of them, I can just add them together. So let's do that. We have 2x plus 3, that's this one, plus 51, that's this one, plus the one I just figured out. So I had to do a little bit of deducing there to figure out what I needed. So that's all three to equal to here, 180. Now if I go ahead and solve this, I'll have my answer for what x equals. So let's combine like terms. Well, 2x is not alike with the rest because it has the variable x, so I'm going to record that down here, 2x. But now I can put together 3 plus 51 is 54. And then plus 80. And so we get 134 over here. Now you can use a calculator if you have to. I just choose to do my work off to the side very often. All right, here we go. So I want to solve for this variable x, but the first thing I need to do is deal with my adding and subtracting. This is a two-step equation, so I'm going to start by subtracting 134 from both sides. Because whatever I do on one side of the equation, I have to do to the other, and the only way to cancel out this 134 was to take it away. So I'm left with 2x equals, and over here I have 180 minus 134. Well, if you're on an exam and you really can't do the math, refer back. You can't take 4 away from 0, so we have to borrow from this 8, make it a 7. So we have 10 minus 4 is 6. Put a 6 down here. We have 7 minus 3 is 4, and 1 minus 1. So 2x equals 46. My last step is going to be to divide both sides by 2, because the 2 is the coefficient stuck to the x by means of multiplication. We do the opposite or inverse operation. Those cancel out, and I have the answer. So what is 46 divided by 2? Well, 2 goes into 4 2 times, 2 goes into 6 3 times. So your answer is x is 23. I know it looks a little messy, but it's just going to have to be that way. I'm learning to use this pen. Okay, so let's scroll down and see what does the rest of this paper look like. Actually, let's go over to number 6. Take a moment and try number 6 on your own. This looks like one here where we're going to have one angle is given, another angle is given. They want us to solve for x, but I don't know the measure of this angle. So start there. The two of these together should equal to 180. I hope that's a nice little hint for you. So go ahead and start there. Find the measure of this angle right here. Then you're going to add all 3 of these internal angles equal to 180 and solve for the variable x. So that's a hint on that one. And then scrolling down the page, I think the rest of that page is good. Going on to the back of the page, you'll see a few more like this where you'll begin to use the same concept. If you have any questions, you can watch video number 3. We'll explain further how to solve these a little bit more challenging questions. Hope that helps. And again, you can find the page for this video in the link below. You can look up part 1 if you'd like help with numbers, the other ones on the page, other than 4, 5, and 6. Thanks.